I don't say stuff just to say it for a click, you know, contrary to what somebody say. But I keep receipts. But I'm serious. I analyze and I understand what we're up against and what we have and what we need. One thing that I could say honestly and candidly, you better get me right now. This is the worst we're going to be. You better get me right now.
Buff Nation.
Let's go.
Welcome into Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. It is DNVR Buffs Prime Time.
You tried to tell him.
That's going to go down in history. Unbelievable.
It absolutely will go down in history. He tried to tell them a lot of things. And that has been my big takeaway over the last 24, 48 hours, is a lot of people are now trying to give credit in this, like, I don't know if the word is backhanded, but like side of their mouth way.
Yeah, of course.
In which they're saying like, well, yeah, now he's doing the things I said he should have done.
Right.
And it's like, no. He always said he was going to do these things.
Yep.
He always said this is what was going to happen. Coach Prime always, essentially without saying it, said, look, first year is going to be a little bit tougher. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the year that we build the foundation.
Yep.
We're going to have to go heavy transfer portal to get some semblance of a roster in here. That's what he did.
Yep.
Then I actually went back and looked at his quotes from after the last year's Utah game. And I asked him, I said, what percentage of the new additions to this roster do you believe will come from the transfer portal this offseason? He said, a plethora, with a smile on his face. And so what did he do? He went, flipped the roster again, and said, I know what we need now. And I'm going to go get it. What did he do? What was it, 9 offensive line transfers in 9 days or something? 8 and 8 days?
Like that, yeah.
Something like that. Fortified the defensive line. And all the while told you, look, it's not that I don't care about high school recruits. It's not that I'm not going to ever high school recruit. It's that we want to win now, right? Mm-hmm. Looks around. Boulder, everyone, we're all in on that. We want to win now. Everyone's like, yes, we want to win now, coach. So he went and did what he had to do to win now. And now look at where this team is.
Yep.
They're 7-2. Oh, and what is that? Now that they have a real team, a real foundation, a real building blocks to work with, what do you know? Coach Prime going into the high school ranks just like he said he was going to do all along. But all of a sudden, people want to come out of the woodwork and say, okay, well, it looks like now he's starting to figure it out. He just now realized he needed an offensive line and some girth on the defensive line, and he's now starting to realize that he's going to have to recruit high school. No. That's not what happened here. It was all part of the plan. It was all part of the process.
Coach Prime's a man of his word. He told you how it was going to happen, when it was going to happen, the way it was going to happen, down to the roster construction, talking about how because of who I am, I'm going to attract the guys on the outside first, and then we'll build it from the outside in. He always kept it real, and it's weird. And there's another topic that's prevalent right now, which is his future and apparently going to the NFL, which is another thing that people just don't seem to listen to what he has to say. And I don't even know when that one's gonna go away, but it
never will.
He just tells it like it is, and exactly what he's thinking, what he wants to do, his goals, and then he puts it into action.
Yep, and I love this comment from Dat Dog, who said, just like Jackson State, and credit to Neely. And a lot of people who followed Coach Prime at Jackson State, they just said, hey, here's what's going to happen. Here, look, year 1 was better, not great. Year 2 is when it popped. Year 3, they were unstoppable. Mm-hmm. And almost the exact same arc is taking place right now, especially with that year 2 part. Who knows what's going to happen in year 3? But the NFL thing and the Florida State thing, that stuff it will never go away.
No.
And it's funny because in the matter of 9 games, and really maybe not even that many, I guess post Nebraska, you would say, so the last 7 games, we went from the guy can't coach to now he needs to save the biggest brand in the NFL because he's the only coach who can save them.
Yep.
7 games. It annoys me that we're in this world where there's never any in between. There's only haters and lovers, or haters and glazers if you ask the haters. And it creates exactly what's happening now, where people have to make these massive flip-flops from one side of the world to the other side of the world, and you look so stupid when you do it.
You do.
And yeah, I mean, like, maybe there were people out there that last season said, like, wow, this is okay, not great. I think they might have something here, and I think they'll be much improved next year. But no, it was all, he's either the worst coach ever, this is trash, it's a charade, it's a circus, it's GTA, or it was people like us who were like, don't break a sweat on the escalator. This is all heading in the right direction.
Yep.
No need to worry. And it's just crazy that we're now at this point where a little bit of success, and now everyone's trying to get him out of Colorado.
It's crazy, man.
And no one wants to take the man for his word, which is that he has no interest in coaching in the NFL. But they just want to consistently and repetitively drag his name or Shedeur or Travis into any possible conversation they have because it's the only thing that can give their content any juice.
It's just how it works. I mean, Coach Prime in Colorado, they drive clicks. Shedeur drives clicks. Travis drives clicks. And this is what happens when you choose to approach that with your opinion first rather than actually analyzing the situation and just calling it for what it is. You end up in these situations that a lot of people find themselves in right now where, like you said, you look like a damn fool because now you have to go from 0 to 100 really, really quick.
Yep.
And it just looks silly. So you posted them today on Twitter. Or it might have been today or yesterday. But the clips from Coach Prime in his very first press conference at Colorado just flat out laid out what was going to happen.
That was Matt H.
Oh, was it Matt H?
Yep.
Okay. Either way, shout out to Matt H. He laid it all out. It was right there for everyone to see. I don't know if it's just because we were in the room and it just hit us a little harder.
Yeah.
But it was all right there for everyone to see.
And remember, I was doing that series on social last year. I was like, Coach Prime already said this was happening. Part 1, part 2, part 3048. It's true. I mean, he's been incredibly forthcoming about what his plan was, what his strategy was. And there are definitely people who chose to ignore it. And there are also people who have the audacity to go on their shows and talk about this stuff without doing any background. And that's where you really make yourself look stupid.
Yep.
I don't know if this is one last thing, but also on this, I couldn't help. I had to post about it. From Pete Thamel, the quote-unquote Indiana methodology of roster building.
Oh, that's so ridiculous. Give me a break.
He said, this isn't just 3- and 4-star transfers like last year. This is more the Indiana methodology of roster building.
Give me a break.
Brother, I was taking golf balls out of a bin and sticking them in a fish bowl before anyone even knew who Curt Cignetti was.
Yep.
This team, I would go as far as to say, invented this methodology of roster building.
Absolutely they did.
When Coach Prime took over and had 70 transfers, everyone said, this is unprecedented.
It's not going to work.
This is an experiment.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Curt Cignetti shows up, I will say this, I don't know enough about their roster, know if it was the exact same thing, does an incredibly similar thing. And somehow, this team that's in year 2 of it ends up copying the team that's in year 1 of it?
Yep.
How can that be possible?
It's only possible in the minds of those who have to twist everything that's gone on the last 2 years to make it make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And Curt Cignetti, essentially, Jake, started from the position where Coach Prime was after last year.
Yeah.
In terms of the roster that he took over.
He didn't have a 1-11, 30-point deficit week in, week out type of roster.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's 5 or 6, but Indiana had 5 or 6 one-score losses last year.
Yes.
Who also had a lot of one-score losses last year?
The University of Colorado.
Colorado, 1 year into the rebuild from Coach Prime. So,
yep.
Curt Cignetti, go watch the video from the third. Oh, it's okay. Go watch the video from the third quarter to the fourth quarter transition last weekend. Did you see that? Oh, the guys just absolutely going nuts out there on the field.
With Coach Delu.
Yeah. When they had Swag Surfing going, they were playing, I forget what the other song they played. Oh, and then they went into Mo Bamba.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that doesn't look like a team that's together to you? Go watch the locker room videos. There's dozens of them. That doesn't look like a team that's together to you. And again, instead of going back and saying, well, we were wrong, Coach Prime did get an offensive line in the portal. Coach Prime did create a team that has culture and a team that has continuity and a team that has camaraderie through the portal. Mm-hmm. They'll just say, oh, yep, look at them. Yeah, they've got so much talent. Could they do it next year? That's all we're going to ever get.
Yep. Never forget where this team came from. All right, we're going to get into press conferences, but we start off today with recruiting. Here's Coach Prime today at his press conference talking about Colorado's strategy when it comes to recruiting.
Kind of know a little more than you all know because we don't let you in on everything, that how this is going to play out. But also, it's a tremendous balancing act that you have to do between the portal and high school. God, I don't want to let you in on so many things, but let me just give you this example. Just say we get 25 high school players. How many is going to play that freshman year at the most? Let's say 4 or 5, right? And so now you got 20 guys redshirted. So when you go through that spring with that 20 guys redshirted, how many are you going to retain after that spring? Or how many are going to jump in the portal on you? Let's just do it. If any one of you going to go statistically and try to calculate this, I already done it. So it's going to be how many? Half. Okay, why don't I just focus on 10? Guys that can – see, when we grab a freshman, we expect that guy to play. We're not looking at, hey, man, we can just redshirt you, develop you. No. We're looking for you to come in and play some football. I don't give a darn if it's a walk-on, if it's a Cash Cleveland. We expect you to play. So our approach is somewhat different, heavily scrutinized, heavily criticized, but we know what we're doing. So if anybody ever did the homework and the statistics of these young men, that people have a class that they say is the #1 class in the nation, then 5 of those guys play or 4 of those guys play, then the rest go through the spring, then they jump in the portal. Give me those numbers. Don't give me the numbers of where you rank nationally in recruiting, because it's just like an NFL team. You always say who won the draft. Then the team gets killed all year. You don't say nothing else about it. Who won the draft last year in the NFL? Nobody care right now, right? Exactly.
A lot of talk about recruiting in this program right now.
Yep.
But he's absolutely right. I mean, it makes so much sense when he puts it out that way, and you go back and you look, okay, why did we only have 10 players come here last year? Yep. Why are they attacking the portal this heavy? Why are they attacking this type of player? Makes perfect sense.
It does. And the transfer portal is a massive weapon in today's college football. And it gives you an opportunity to, even as a good team, immediately fill holes and upgrade positions overnight. It used to not be that way. And it used to be that if you missed on a recruit 1 year and they didn't turn into the player you thought they could be 3 years later, well, you had a massive hole on your roster.
Yep.
You had to go to like the JUCO route. It was a lot harder. And the reason I bring this up is because as Colorado goes down this path, the pendulum will swing a little bit more towards high school recruiting. Mm-hmm. But not all the way. And Coach Prime's a very, very smart man. He knows that he is now branded as the transfer portal guy.
Portal King.
Yeah, the portal king. And he's going to be able to weaponize that throughout the years. And, we're going to talk about Juju here in a second.
Yep.
But as much as we would all love to have Juju, if Colorado weren't to get Juju, they're not in panic mode at the quarterback position. They're in portal mode.
Mm-hmm. It's a great way to put it. Let's take our first break of the day, and then we will touch on Julian Lewis, all that good stuff here in a second. Shout out to our friends over at UC Health. Big emphasis on men's health right now. We can be stubborn, right, as men?
Oh, yeah.
We can like to think we know more than we do. So this is why UC Health.
For me, it's less about thinking I know more than I do than just thinking whatever's wrong will go away eventually.
Right. Always. So that's why UC Health wants to remind you all, especially the men out there, take care of yourselves. Not just for you, but for your family, your friends. You got to go get checked out at times. If you're not feeling well, something's up, make sure you go check it out. And UC Health is trying to make it as easy as possible to get it all done with their online scheduling and other convenient features available in the UC Health app. So download that today to get started. Let's talk about your tomorrow. Join the men's health conversation at uchealth.org/men's health.
Also, let's talk about floors. Colorado's floor, 7 wins.
Facts. Facts.
That's
Bowl
a great
eligible.
floor. That's a great floor. And if you want a great floor, you should hit up our friends over at Empire today. They're the best in the biz. I remain to be impressed with the durability of the floor that we have our feet on right now. It's a wonderful product. They were wonderful in coming here and installing it. Very quick, pain-free, awesome stuff. And if you want a floor from Empire today, call them up. They will come check out your home and give you a free estimate on what it was going to cost. And then you take that estimate, slash $350 off of it because you've got the code DNVR. So go to Empire today and use that code DNVR for $350 off.
All right.
What are you laughing at?
Ivan's comment. Floors. Nothing like them.
I love my floors.
That's got to be the next time you do that, Reed. All right, let's do it. Julian Lewis. We've been in this saga for, 9 months now? 10 months? Since he first visited Colorado. Been 4 times. Most recent one when he came for their win over Cincinnati to see the Buffs become bowl eligible. Since Sunday, there have been 6, 7 crystal ball / predictions for Julian Lewis to flip from USC to Colorado, including Tom Loy, who's the director at 247, Steve Wiltfong at On 3, and our own guy, Adam Munster-Tiger of Buff Stampede.
Yeah. It's crazy that there's been 2 major Juju updates since the last time we did a show.
Yeah, for real.
And I guess there's been even more than that. But it finally feels like this thing is at the very least on the 1 yard line. And I think we've been in the red zone at the very least since June.
I think so too.
But it's really coming together. And I think you're starting to see some of the auxiliary dominoes start to fall around it, which again, Coach Prime sometimes tells you stuff before it happens. We told you that one too. Mm-hmm. It's not just Juju. It's the Juju movement if you get Juju, which means more behind him.
Carde Smith has also received predictions to flip from USC to Colorado, the offensive tackle from Alabama. But an interesting wrinkle happened today in the Juju Lewis recruitment when On 3 reported that he's going to Georgia this weekend for their big game against Tennessee. Now, how much do we read into this?
Look, I feel like I'm maybe the number one person who doesn't count my chickens before they hatch in recruiting. I say every time, you never know. You never know. Trying to, a lot of us listening were 17-year-old boys at one point. Mm-hmm. Some of us 17-year-old girls. If you were trying to predict my future, then try to tell me what I was going to do months in advance, you wouldn't be able to predict what I was going to do in the next hour.
Yep.
So I'll never say never to anything when it comes to recruiting. That being said, if you want to call it a fear meter, on this Georgia visit is like a 2 out of 10, maybe a 1.
It's a 0 out of 10.
Okay. Well, that's so you're saying never. I'm saying never, saying never. You're saying never.
He's not. Why would he go to Georgia all of a sudden now? It's his hometown. He's from Georgia. Could have had an opportunity to go to Georgia for the last 2 years. He's been committed to Lincoln Riley and USC. He could have gone and seen them and, is this maybe the spot for me? He didn't even have them in the Indiana, Auburn, Colorado, USC conversation. Now all of a sudden you're telling me they're a player? Remember Maryland and Jordan Seaton.
I am not telling you that.
I know. I'm just saying. Remember Maryland and Jordan Seaton.
Oh, yeah. No, I remember all this stuff. I'm just saying you can never say never. And if the exact opposite was true, let's say this kid was from Colorado and he had been committed to South Carolina, the other USC, and he was going to flip to Georgia, and then right after everyone crystal balled him to Georgia, he announced he was taking a visit to Colorado, I would be saying, hey, we've got a lottery ticket here.
Yeah.
We got a chance. If you get him on campus, you got a chance. You always have a chance to change someone's mind if they're, giving you that opportunity. So, like I said, fear is incredibly low, but I never say never in recruiting. He should know that Dylan Raiola is going to be transferring to Georgia after this season. So, just a thing to keep in mind for the future there.
Also, another thing to keep in mind is USC seems to be turning their attention towards Texas A&M five-star quarterback commit Hassan Longstreet. He is from California. He is a local kid out there. They're all breadcrumbs, right? They're all little clues.
Yeah, for sure.
So there you go. That's what's going on.
And the other one is the Dorian Barney decommit.
Thank you. Yes, Dorian Barney, 2026 cornerback, was committed to Alabama, I believe, for quite a while. But he has recently decommitted. This was actually November 10th, so 2 days ago. He's now decommitted. Again, 2026 kid, so a year out from now. But he is only a 4-star composite player, but he's a top 100 consensus player basically everywhere.
Yeah.
He's legit.
He's a dog. And very much in the pipeline for Colorado.
Yes, sir.
All the way down to a Pastor Smith connection.
Yeah, he played for Eagles
Landing
Christian, which had Colton Hood, Brandon Hood, Trent Hood, Zach Owens.
There's one more. I forget.
I can't remember who else it is, too.
Apologies in advance when the chat reminds us.
But still.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you said, dominoes starting to fall, things starting to happen. And one thing I would just say about Georgia versus Colorado, I can assure you, if you come to Colorado, Coach Prime will never call you an idiot publicly.
Fair enough.
But if you go to Georgia, you can drink and drive all you want.
There you go. Rules don't apply to you out there.
He's never said anything like that. And I'm not even necessarily a Kirby Smart hater by any stretch of the mind. He's never called anyone an idiot for drinking and driving.
Yeah.
But, a kid is jumping around, which, terrible look. Don't get me wrong.
That's wild.
But he had no problem calling him an idiot.
RJ Johnson.
Thank you. Sorry, RJ.
Shout out to the chat.
I think RJ had a couple special teams plays this week.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He's flying around out there.
He's been... The arrow's pointing up on him, too.
Speaking of guys from Eagles Landing Christian making plays on special teams, we got to get Colton Hood's cleats inspected or something.
Why?
Because he almost broke another one and tripped.
Oh, dude, I know. It's ridiculous.
He's right there, though. He is right there.
I don't know if the dude's got the 3/4 studs on, or if you got to go down to half an inch or what.
I honestly think that his feet sometimes just move so fast that they get tangled.
He literally gets too far ahead of himself.
And I guess the one was Preston, not Preston's fault, but he clipped Preston on the way. This one, it looked like his feet just came out from under.
I mean, yeah, he was gone.
Yep.
He was gone.
Can I one last thing you one last time?
Go ahead.
A couple final thoughts on Texas Tech. One, how the hell was there not a review on that Shiloh goal line play?
I don't know, but the replay is crazy because that ball's out.
The ball is out, bro.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking I'm on the opposite side of the stadium, so, classic meme of ref, that's a fumble from 240 yards away.
But why don't they look at this shit?
You got to at least give me the presence of mind or the peace of mind that you looked at it.
It's a scoring play. How is this not reviewed?
I don't know. And I'm guessing they would say they did like an expedited review, but that would be bullshit. Because the ball was out.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, look, man, there was obviously something going on with the refereeing this last weekend.
Yep.
Something was going on.
Absolutely. The other thing is I put out a poll, Jake.
Okay.
Did you know Texas Tech fans threw tortillas on the field before last week?
So I did know this, but what was the results?
The final results were 71% no. Why is this relevant? I'll tell you. Colorado is bringing so many eyeballs around the country. You know, when you play Colorado, you get big noon kickoff. You get to put your program in a national spotlight. And boy, did Texas Tech fail that opportunity. Because guess what? Had the tortillas thing just been on the opening kickoff, everyone would have been like, damn, that was wild.
Yeah.
That was cool. Respect to them. This looks like a great environment. But then it spiraled into their fans just saying, well, if we can throw tortillas, we can throw anything.
Yep.
Just hucking stuff at CU side. I mean, if you just watch the game broadcast, anytime they cut to Coach Prime on the sideline, look around him. It looks like he's standing in a dump.
Look at the sideline at the end of the third quarter.
Yes. It's asinine. So I feel like Texas Tech really missed an opportunity and represented themselves very poorly on national television. The other thing that I just have to comment on is the ball boy.
The clown?
Yes. What are you doing?
Know your role. Literally.
Exactly. I talked to a friend today who used to be that exact position. Ball boy on the opposing sideline.
Yeah.
You're rooting for your team, of course.
Of course.
But, you know, you got to handle what's going on with the footballs. He said, I would never, ever, ever just try to take it out of someone's hands. You just ask for it. All that dude had to do was take 10 steps with Shiloh alongside him and just be like, hey, can I get that ball? But no, he reaches down, knocks it out of his hand. And given the, like, environment that they had already created at Texas Tech, emotions were so high. Like, what were you expecting to have when you reach and knock something out of another man's hand?
And let's also note that this was with like a minute left in the damn game.
Yes.
The game's over. You don't need that football, bro.
Yes.
Like,
someone
what are we
tweeted
doing?
like, this is Texas Tech's football. I wanted to be like, oh, it was Texas Tech's football. Then they fumbled it and it became a touchdown. Colorado. Anyways, totally out of line. And the last part I have on that is Shedeur. So I love Shedeur standing up for his brother, but Shedeur has stakes. In the football game, in the conference, whatever. He could get in trouble for some sort of altercation like that if it had spiraled from there. So then I especially love Bucky stepping in and being like, hold on. Big brother's going to take care of business here because I don't want you to have to take care of business because you have high stakes here. So I love the whole thing. Except for I wish it never had to happen because the dude should have never reached for a ball out of someone's hands.
Straight up. It's crazy, man. A little bit more on recruiting. We do have Alexander McPherson, another IMG linebacker, coming to officially visit this weekend.
Okay.
Currently committed to Oklahoma State.
Yikes. He should go check out the Reach the People episode with DJ McKinney, who transferred to Colorado from Oklahoma State. And I think called it something along the lines of best decision he's ever made in his life.
And then Quanell x Farrakhan Jr.'s game-winning touchdown was like highlighted on Sunday Night Football.
No way.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It might have been just because Houston was playing, I think. But and he plays North Shore outside of Houston. But either way.
Did you watch Sunday Night Football?
No, I was too hurt by what happened on Sunday afternoon.
Did you watch Monday Night Football?
No.
I didn't watch either.
Yeah.
And it wasn't as much to do with the Broncos. And I'll keep this really short. There's been a whole conversation, I don't know if you saw Mina Kimes going back and forth with like the guy who put out this long thing about how the NFL's product is terrible this year.
Yeah.
There's this whole conversation about what's wrong with the NFL's product. Some say it's quarterback play, some say it's lack of creativity. It's none of that. It's lack of aura. The NFL has no aura right now.
Yep.
Tell me like what it just doesn't. And I don't even think it's anyone's fault. It's just like a weird consequential or inconsequential thing that's just happening. Like the NFL isn't that interesting this year.
Yeah, and I think it's. I mean, we can go I can talk 10 minutes on this, but I think it's something to do with the changing of the guard, of the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Brady's retiring, and that kind of new era coming up under them.
Yeah,
it's been so dominated by Mahomes. There's no like Peyton to Mahomes' Brady right now.
Exactly.
So
yeah, there's no good rivalries.
Yeah.
Think about like Eagles Cowboys this last weekend.
Yeah.
Eagles blew them out.
Yep.
It was like there was nothing like interesting that happened in the game other than the glare causing CeeDee Lamb to not be able to catch a touchdown pass. I mean, it's just like I don't know. I love the NFL, but there's no aura right now.
I'm with you, man. I've loved the NFL as long as I can remember, but something's different. All right, let's take our next break. Shout out to our friends over at Bet365, the best place to bet on football, pro or college. You can get in on their early moneyline payouts, 17 points or more. If you take a team on the money line, they get up by 17, that money line cashes, even if the other team comes back all the way to win the football game. So when you sign up with the code DNVR365. All you got to do from there, deposit $10, and you'll get in on the bet and get offer. All you have to do there is place a bet of $5 or more. Once that bet hits or misses, you'll get $150 in bonus bets deposited directly into your account. You must be 21 and older and physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Also, you get 2 months of Altitude Plus, your first 2 months of Altitude Plus on Bet365. Great deal. Go sign up now.
Speaking of Bet365, Colorado now officially the co-favorite to win the Big 12 Conference on Bet365 at plus 150. I bring that up because it's slightly better than the other odds I've checked on. And right now there's a boost on Colorado from plus 150 up to plus 162. So if you're a little late to the party, but you still want action, you can get it there. Also, Colorado plus 120 at Bet365 to make the college football playoff. Better odds of making the college football playoff than winning the conference.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the selection committee here in a second.
And when you cash in all of your lovely winning bets from Bet365 on the Buffs, you take your money over to Westera Credit Union.
Hell yeah, the homies.
Deposit it in. They'll become your new best friends like they did for Jake.
Yeah.
And you're going to get like hands-on, real people care there. You're not going to get some like automated chat system on an app on your phone. No, you get people who recognize you, want to help you, and are much more connected with their clients. So check out our friends over at Westera. Go to westeracu.com/smartmoney for more details. Membership eligibility required. Insured by NCUA. Restrictions and conditions apply.
Okay, let's do.
This is the problem with, we did 7 straight days of shows.
I know.
And then we took a day off. I just have so many stray thoughts.
I got you, man. I feel it.
What do I do with all my thoughts?
Yes, exactly. By the way, shout out to Tiff, who's producing the show.
Yeah, shout
today.
out to Tiff. Alyssa's a little under the weather today. Everyone wish Alyssa well and say thank you to Tiff for saving the day. All right. Let's just do a little bit of press conference stuff. This is all up on our YouTube channel. We're going to do a couple of these, but Miss Peggy turns 100 years old on the 19th, I believe.
Yeah.
So we're about a month away or a week away. And of course, you guys know Coach Prime and Peggy's relationship. It's really blossomed in the 2 years. Well, Coach Prime hasn't even been here 2 years, I don't think, yet.
Yeah.
It's only 22 months, I think. So,
Yep.
But he spoke about what Peggy means to the program and much more in today's pressers.
Miss Peggy, in her own tremendous, loving way, she gives all of us hope. She gives all of us that unspeakable joy, that love, that respect. You know how many decades that we're apart, but we still found one another? I thank God for that. And just the little things she whispers, that's the remembrance of certain little things that she may say. Just her asking me about my mother. I told my mother the other day, Peggy would beat you in the 40, I'm telling you. Because she's going to get out the hole. I know she's going to get out the hole and you're not going to catch her. I said, you got to get up and get going now. Come on, Peggy, high stepping on you, Ma. And I mean, I was dead serious too. Because Peggy's just, she is like that, man. I mean, she gives me so much energy every darn time I see her. And you guys thought I was joking, man. I was really dedicated to get Peggy to a bowl game. Now we're trying to get Peggy to the game. Yeah, it was a bowl game. Now it's the game. Thank you. Great question. I don't say stuff just to say it for a click, contrary to what somebody said.
And to finish the quote, and she looks great in my sunglasses too.
Yeah. I mean, I can't help but feel like this season's coming a little full circle a bit, just with everything that's happened. But Coach Prime's promises for Miss Peggy and how he's already met that and is already on track for much, much more.
Yep. I mean, a couple weeks ago, one of my friends texted me and said, I just can't stop thinking about that effing Kansas State game. And I responded back and I just said, it's all part of the story. Mm-hmm. It does really feel like this season is playing out in storybook mode. Now, not every story has a happy ending.
Of course.
But it just, all the little elements of it. The last year with Coach Prime and his sons, Peggy turning 100, the entire Peggy to a bowl game / Peggy to the playoffs movement, the Hail Mary, bro.
Yep.
It all just feels like it's a movie. And that's what helps me sleep at night.
Well said. We'll do one more clip. Here's Coach Prime just on Pat Shurmur. And there's been a lot to say about Pat Shurmur, right? There's a lot of history with him, especially here in Denver. Here's Coach Prime kind of addressing that.
Sometimes you guys are, you like giving Pat the credit that he deserves. Pat is unbelievable. Maybe because he had a stint in Denver, which Jesus of Nazareth couldn't have turned that around at the time. What he had to work with, God bless him. But Pat has been incredible, and I love him to life in his relationship with our players and the way he challenges them, the way he challenges the staff. I mean, in his preparation and his dialect during the game is unbelievable, man. So it takes those Jimmys and Joes, but also you got to know what you're doing and know what you're calling. And we have a tremendous relationship with the coordinators, with the staff, with everybody that's inside the building that's working to make this program a powerhouse.
Coach Prime's just speaking facts again, bro.
Yeah, man. I still see a lot of hate out there for Pat Shurmur.
Yeah.
I think that, and I am guilty of this too, but I think that offensive coordinator might be one of the most underratedly tough coaching positions in sports.
100%, dude.
And I think Pat Shurmur has had amazing sequences this year, and I think he's had some tough sequences. Mm-hmm. But one of my notes from the rewatch of the game the other night was great adjustments by Pat. For whatever reason, Shedeur wasn't seeing it right downfield, or wasn't trusting it right downfield, and this team was obviously built on a vertical passing game. They want to get that thing out, and they want to get it down the field. And Shedeur just kept being like, I don't know. I don't like that. Mm-hmm. And, that's why there's a lot of scrambles and a lot of running. And so rather than, talking Shedeur into checking it down or whatever, they just started calling those screens. The first one of those didn't come until like midway through the second quarter.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, we can just spam this play?
Yeah.
Like, cool, let's keep doing it. I thought that was a great adjustment by him. We give a lot of credit to Robert Livingston for the adjustments he makes, rightfully so, because he might be the best adjusting coordinator in college football right now. But I thought that was a good adjustment from Pat Shurmur to just keep drawing up the short stuff that's easy there, because for whatever reason, I don't know if it was the wind, I don't know if it was the way that Texas Tech was disguising their coverages, I don't know what it was, but they weren't able to really get it downfield. I think, honestly, the longest air yard completion in that game was like 14 yards.
Damn, you're right. I didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point. All right, you can find all the rest of the press conferences on our YouTube channels.
Smash that like button. We're super low on likes today.
Yeah, but good stuff today from Will Shepard, Arden Walker, and then, of course, Coach Prime. So go check it out. We have a new shirt.
We do?
We have a new shirt.
Let's go. New shirt alert. Cop the drop. You can see it down there in the corner We ran it last year, but nothing has changed. Mm-hmm. It's 7 wins, 2 losses. It doesn't matter what happens to this day.
Always.
It's Colorado versus everybody. So I talked to our design team. I was like, I think we should do another one. There it is. Colorado versus everybody, version 2.
Let's go, man.
I love this one. I can't wait to rep it.
Yeah, man. The probably my favorite like rallying cry thing or whatever that's come out of the Coach Primera is that. Because that's what it truly is, honestly.
Yes.
I mean, no one believed in this team before the year besides those who were already riding with them.
Yeah. I mean, you've literally got BYU fans within days of just having their heated rivalry tweeting that they're pulling for Utah this weekend.
Crazy.
That is the definition of Colorado versus everybody. It is unbelievable. And now what's crazy is we've gone from the we hate you because we think you're getting too much attention and you're not good enough to deserve it.
Yeah.
To now we hate you because we're scared of you.
Yep.
And scared of what this program could be on the precipice of.
Mm-hmm. They should be scared.
By the way, store.allcitynetwork.com to cop the new shirt. And I'm told this one, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but I really was told that this one is going to be shipped faster.
Okay. There you go.
So I'm putting the pressure on the people too. It's out there publicly now.
All right. Buy the shirt. The committee in an hour and 15 minutes releases their rankings.
Oh, that's fast.
Right?
Yeah. 5 o'clock.
The AP poll came out, of course, yesterday, but as you all, I'm sure know, after November, we move on to the CFP poll. This is the one that truly matters. So Colorado came in at 18 on the AP poll yesterday. They were ranked 20th in the initial CFP poll last weekend. If you go to ESPN, they did their projected committee rankings again. They have Colorado as first 4 out, so I don't know what that means. I guess 12 or 13 through 16.
It means that they don't have Colorado winning the Big 12, and thus they have them just missing out on the 12 seed.
247 also put together a list. They had them at 16. So 16 and a half over under. Where do you think they get ranked?
So we're at 20 now.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh lost this weekend.
Yep.
Iowa State lost this weekend. That's 18 and 17. LSU lost this weekend. That's 15.
Mm-hmm.
I think once you get above that, it actually doesn't matter much. Did anyone else up there lose?
I mean, Georgia and Miami lost, but that doesn't matter
so that doesn't matter.
point.
So the question is, do they have Colorado jumping a team that's in front of them that won this last weekend? The options would be Kansas State. Oh, they didn't even play. So that's an option.
That's tough, though, with the head-to-head.
It
obviously.
is, for sure. And then the other real option would be Ole Miss.
Mm-hmm.
But they had a big win this weekend, didn't they?
They beat Georgia.
They beat Georgia. So they're going up. I've actually... So 19, 18. I think Colorado will come in at 17. I hope it's higher.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, it's still a 3-place jump. You can't be upset about that. November moving up 3 places, and that's pretty much what they did from the AP to the CFP poll, right? Or no, they were 21 and were 20.
Yep.
So either way, the arrow's pointing up, and
and that would match that because AP came out, we're 18.
Right.
So if the same move would put us to 17.
Right. So this is just it's all good and dandy. You got to keep on just winning, obviously, and I don't know how it would work out now because since Iowa State did lose again. You're kind of you're already in position right now to get into the Big 12 title game. So I think it's actually harder to make the CFP now as an at-large because you're pretty much going to go into that title game. And the committee has kind of mentioned before, like, making it to the title game is an achievement, and even losing there shouldn't be really necessarily held against you. But of course, first year for this whole thing, and there's just a lot of moving parts. So
I also think which seed you go into the championship game matters.
Yes.
If you go in as the 1 seed in your conference and barely lose, I think you'd be punished less than going in as the 2 seed and losing.
Right. Yes. For sure.
And by the way, it's not crazy that Colorado could get the 1 seed.
No.
In fact, we're a incredibly controversial call away from Colorado being tied for first place going into this week.
Mm-hmm. So we'll find out. We'll be watching just like everyone else. Get your questions in now. Let's take our final break, and then we will get to questions, comments, and all that. Shout out to the homies at HelloFresh. HelloFresh hooked us up with a box. Each of us up with a box of food a couple weeks ago. And it was amazing. Was it not?
It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Really good.
We both enjoyed the maple chicken.
Spicy maple chicken, bro. That hit.
But these recipes are delicious. They're healthy. And they're actually super easy, too. So go check them out. You can get 10 free meals at HelloFresh.com/freebuffs. It's applied across 7 boxes. New subscribers only. Varies by plan. That's 10 free HelloFresh meals just by going to HelloFresh.com/freebuffs. It's America's #1 meal kit. They got all kinds of options, too. Keto-friendly, diet-friendly, whatever you got going on, they can accommodate to your preference.
Also, shout out to Constant Contact. It's really important in this day and age to make sure that your business is hitting people, email, social, SMS, all of your different marketing stuff. And it's also hard to get good people in those positions, especially full-time and expensive. So if you want to get started on the path to making sure that you're hitting your customer base in the right way, and also just getting all the different touch points with your potential customers, hit up our friends over at Constant Contact. Go to constantcontact.com/allcity and start your free trial today. That's constantcontact.com/allcity for your free trial.
All right, what's up, chat?
I got something before we go to the chat. So we've been talking about like atmospheres, traditions, game day hype. And I feel like we've all agreed that Colorado is a little bit behind in this category.
Game day atmosphere, yes.
We are selling out the stadium, but I don't think that we're doing enough after that. And that is on, obviously, the university for, leaning into and spending money or, resources that help that. But I also think a little bit of it is on, like, lack of organization within the student section. And, Utah is a perfect example of a university who has, like, a brand of their student section. I think they call it the MUS. They've got, like, leaders. They've got things that they plan out. But, like, even Texas Tech last week rolled out the Mahomes banner, which I'm sure Adidas paid for.
Right.
But if Nike wanted to roll that out this week, I don't even know if they would know who to talk to. So I feel like it's really important for someone. There's got to be someone who listens to this show who's a student, who is really involved, like gets to the games early. Someone's got to like step up and say like, I want to lead this.
Yeah.
It's desperately needed. Then I was thinking about what's something that we could do. And I was thinking back to like when I was in high school and some of the cool chants, and I realized one that is literally so perfect for this team. You ever remember the I Believe chant?
Yeah.
What better chant to match with Coach Prime than the I Believe? I believe. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Makes me think of U.S. men's soccer.
Yes. I believe that we will win. Like, that would go so hard. There's 10,000 students in there at least every single week. And it's super easy for everyone to learn, and it literally matches Coach Prime perfectly.
Coach Prime would love it.
How hype he would be.
He would love it
if that happened.
Yeah.
So, I'm too old for this. I can't do this anymore. But that's a little free breadcrumb for whoever wants to take it over.
There you go.
And lead the student section.
Definitely.
Give them a, what do they call it? A megaphone. And let's get this thing popping.
Oh yeah, man. All right, what's up, chat? 2 favorite uncles. Okay, so this is stuff that, again, go check out all the press conferences on our channel. Coach Prime did actually talked the team and personnel quite a bit today. So there's some stuff we just haven't exactly touched on. And this is one of them. Sorry, I'm stalling, trying to look for it. Here it is. Two Favorite Uncles asked, what are we going to do with Zelinskis? So Coach Prime was asked about that. I think Scott actually asked him.
I love that little moment between Coach Prime and Scott where he was like, wait, are you the guy that was on with Neely?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. He's like, you're doing a good job. Well, how's it like working with Neely? Yeah. I love that Scott gave him a real answer. Yeah. He said it's been interesting or something.
He said it's an experience or something like that.
It's been an experience. It was so perfect good. Answer. Great job, Scott.
Coach Prime gives an update on the starting center position. He says, it's always going to be an ongoing competition with everybody. He went on to say how happy he was for and proud he was of Cash for kind of making that happen. He said he wants that to happen at every position. But then he also said the main thing is to get the ball to the quarterback, and we've got to do that consistently. It's the number one job of the center.
Cash Cleveland's going to be starting this week.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I feel like that's kind of a foregone conclusion. I don't even feel bad saying this because I would never want anyone to say this about me, but I've played golf not long enough to know what this means. I think Hank's got the yips.
Maybe. I think it needs to be a little bit more than just that, though.
To me, it's something about like look, playing on the offensive line, especially at center, is there's a lot of anxiety involved there because you're literally sitting there waiting, thinking about everything you have to do, waiting for your signal. And I think he's just like a little bit extra anxious to pull the trigger and snap the football right now. And for whatever reason, I'm confident that he's going to be able to get past this and get through this. But we've been lucky that there hasn't. Well, I guess there was one against Arizona that ended in a turnover. But like, if that
ball's on the ground,
first snap or second snap, whatever it was against Texas Tech, goes the other way, and you're down 14-0 before you've even run a real play, that could have changed everything. So at this point, I think that there's got to be some sort of, he's just got to figure out, get it right. I believe in him. I believe he will. But until then, I think you got to roll with Cash, who, by the way, only allowed one pressure in the game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of in the same stance, I guess. I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far to call it the yips, but there's been a pattern of snaps not making it to Shedeur when he wants it or accurately to Shedeur. So if you feel like Cash gives you the best chance to win on Saturday, then absolutely, by all means, he has to play. But let's not forget, this is Hank Zelinskis is also the guy in the Utah game last year who impressed so much as a true freshman, kind of like what Cash just did last weekend. So
totally,
it's all very fluid.
Totally. And Utah presents a whole new set of challenges in terms of just size.
Yeah.
In there. But, I mean, Cash was really good.
He was.
And, like, super in control and just calm. The announcers on the game broadcast were just in love with him.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this guy's just smiling the whole game. What is going on here?
Shout out to RC with the Twitter post of the day, too.
They're literally saying, oh, yeah. Shout out to RC for sure. I might have helped a little bit.
Okay.
They were saying, like, we got to have Big Noon's in Colorado next week. You got to have this kid on. So he made a little star for himself in that game.
Leak asks, anyone know what's going on with Hodge? We did not get injury updates from Coach, unfortunately. Well, we got Shane Cokes.
Shane will be back.
He said you're definitely going to see him this season. He said it may not be this week, but he's going to be back this season. On Jimmy, he said it's going to be day-to-day. He's a tremendous asset to our offense. He's in the training room early getting his treatment, and we're praying for him right now. Coach Prime said he wanted to see him practice on Thursday before he made any kind of decision, but Jimmy's got to be ready to practice on Thursday to make that happen. So slightly pessimistic, I'd say, right now on Jimmy's chances of playing.
Yeah, on Jimmy, I rewatched. I don't think he slipped on a tortilla.
Okay, good.
So that's good. It looked like he just got kind of twisted by an ankle tackle. And then Preston, man, I'm hoping that it was just
He got nicked pretty good there.
I'm hoping it was just a collision, like a little bit above the knee.
Yeah.
That's just one of those, like, complete dead leg. Like, you kind of just lose feeling there for a minute. And then in the background of one of the sideline shots, you could see like the trainers were just checking out that knee above the knee area. So you hope it's just bad bruise.
No. We'll talk more Utah tomorrow, including their quarterback situation. Ivan asked, did you guys see Keyshawn Johnson interview with Ryan Williams and Jalen Mbakwe? He was trying to stir the pot, but they know Travis Hunter is him.
I didn't see that.
I did not see that, but please send it to me. Appreciate you, Ivan. Trevor asked, RK, can you give us an insight into how long-time Buffs like you feel this team seems like the toughest team on the field?
I mean, we're ecstatic like everyone else. I originally thought your question was, when's the last time the Buffs that you can remember were the most physical
2016
team on the field? In 2016, they were, man. I don't know how many of you guys watched my video with Ted talking about some of just like our favorite Buffs teams and games. But we talked about Sefo Lufau, who legitimately might be the toughest football player I've ever seen. He was the quarterback and was literally running essentially quarterback power, but he wasn't fast. He was just running battering ram quarterback plays like 19 times a game. That team was really tough, really physical. But before that, I mean, you really would have to go all the way back to like 2001-ish to find a team that was like pushing people around. The one thing I will say about that 2001 team is obviously they were a dominant force running the ball, which is I think the final step of like the physicality pyramid for Colorado. Is just like when you can just go out there and say like, yeah, do whatever you want. We're just going to move your defenders out of the way and go wherever we want. But on the defensive side of the football, this team is just battering people from opening kickoff to final whistle.
Yep. Any words on new uniforms, or have we seen everything for the season? You haven't seen everything.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
Steven asked, how banged up is our D-line? Any chance of seeing Wiggins?
One thing on uniforms. Have you seen 2 graphics in the last like 3 days? They put out the white helmets with the chrome gold face masks on graphics. So I have
not been paying enough attention to notice that. No.
I need that in my life.
Any chance of seeing Wiggins? Haven't heard an update on Quincy Wiggins.
I believe he's playing on special teams.
But Coach also in the press conference talked about Tyler Brown. He said if they needed him, they could have thrown him in at defensive line this last weekend. But he's not quite there to entering the rotation yet.
Is Quincy 40? I know he is in the video game, but is Quincy 49 in real life?
I think so.
I think he's on the kick protection unit.
Okay. Would make sense. He's ginormous.
Yep.
Yes. What are the chances of 2-12 playing in a regular bowl game if there isn't a CFP game? 100%.
According to Unk, he said 100% chance that those guys would play.
I totally believe it. Why wouldn't they want to play for Coach Prime one more time?
Yeah, and I mean...
Last time they might play together.
Yep. Yeah, it would... First of all, let me just say this. I wouldn't blame them if they didn't.
Of course not, but...
But I'll take Neely's word for it.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that. Thank you, David. Who is going to get a raise or a bonus for hiring Scott Deep Pockets? Even Coach Prime noticed the talent. Coach Prime knows ball and he knows media.
He really does. Worked in it for 20 years, right?
Yep.
Or 15.
We already talked about Preston. Micah's hamstring still. Super Chats. Harambe says, we need an update on injuries.
We gave you everything we had.
That was everything from today's press conference, I'm pretty sure.
I will say, bonus injury update, which isn't really an update as much as it is a rumor mill, which is that Utah's starting quarterback from the BYU game, who looked a lot better than the starting quarterback from
TCU.
All the other games that they've played besides Cam Rising, is reported to also now be injured.
Would be the exact same situation they were in playing us last year.
It is also reported that Isaac Wilson, part of the reason he didn't play last week, aside from the fact that he was playing terribly, was also because he was hurt. And so there's conversations in Utah circles happening that they may be down to the same quarterback that they started against us last year, who I believe's named Luke, but his definite last name is Batari.
Can't even remember him.
Completed 10 passes in that game last year. The whole game.
Should have won that game. A lot of this season's turning out very interesting, very like prophetic and like full circle in multiple ways.
Yep.
Who's next? East Coast Cav, our guy. They don't just want him out of Colorado. They want him out of college football. Coach Prime is a threat to the establishment. If and when he gets near that natty, CU will own college football. Preach, Kev. Again.
You better believe that people had it in their heads when Coach Prime started in college football, like, oh man, he could take over the whole damn thing.
Oh, for sure. I remember hearing these conversations on SportsCenter back in 2020 when he started at Jackson.
Yep.
I remember hearing them before that when he was interviewing at FSU, and they basically told him no.
Yep.
Karma. East Coast Kev says, everybody in Colorado can relax. Prime isn't going to the NFL, and he definitely won't coach for Jerry Jones. Jerry is way too selfish to give any coach, let alone Prime, control of his team. Preach, Kev. I mean, we know this, but it's the outside who apparently doesn't know this.
Yeah, I saw someone say something along the lines of like, Jerry gets what Jerry wants. If he wants Coach Prime, he'll get him. And I'm just like, no, that doesn't apply here.
No. Brian says the playoff rankings will be revealed between games of the champions. Classic basketball doubleheader, so around 7:15, 7:30. Okay, so an hour and a half then. Laura says, RK, great idea. I did talk with a few people, and conversations are happening regarding atmosphere. I think we'll see improvements. Want me to run your idea by my son, who is very connected on campus / frat scene?
Yo, let's go. Just matriculate it. Whoever needs to hear the message, let's get the I Believe chant going.
Michael, the super chat, says the new RK GIF is fire.
That's crazy, bro. Every time I see that, I laugh. I can't believe that's a real thing. Oh, man, we were delaying a company meeting. Guess we have to go have it.
Yeah, we literally have people waiting on us, looking at us in the studio.
I can't see from behind the lights, but I assume we're getting glared at.
Let's go over here, eh, boys?
He's threatening to write you up again.
2-minute drill. Go.
We'll be back tomorrow. Scott will be back tomorrow.
Brian would be at the meeting by now.
It's all right. That's true.
And we'll talk Utah. We'll see you guys then. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.
I didn't even see you guys back there. I was like, who's blaring it?